Good day, everybody. I'm finna shoot a video, and that is my assistant in the background, Juju. I thought to pull her in on the videos, but anyway, this is Jabbo outside again. I'm finna do a video on my blackberry and raspberry beds, so get ready. Okay, this is my blackberry bed, and this is I planted these as rootstocks last spring, and they grew all summer, and they grew very vigorously. As you can see, all this is from just planting about 7 little small rootstocks in here. Various blackberries. Those center ones are the triple crown on the end. I got some of the Indian varieties, the Apache and the Navajo, and the I can't remember, but the triple crown is only what I have. This a hybrid, I guess. The rest of them are the Indian varieties, all thornless blackberries. What I did was when I grew the canes over the spring, I filled them up with some lime, and also used some triple 13 to build up the nitrogen and phosphorus content in the soil. And I let them grow all summer. And then in the wintertime, what I did was around October, November, I put a little more fast-acting lime down. And then I use a natural supplement called bone meal. I'm sorry, I use blood meal, which is a natural nitrogen supplement. And I sprinkle that around the rootstocks, and then I cover them with pine straw. And again, I put some lime down about a month earlier, fast-acting lime down to build up the pH. So they are still look pretty good. We had a mild winter this year. Here it is February, and it's 60 some degrees. So we had a very, very mild winter. I was wondering how the canes would do during the winter time. Same with the raspberry. They don't look quite as good as the blackberries, but I figured they wouldn't grow quite as vigorously, but they did do pretty good. I planted 7 rootstocks in here as well. I got several varieties: the Dorman Red, I got the Logan, which is a black raspberry, and the Fall Gold, and I have one other variety, the Heritage. So pretty much some standard growing raspberries. I'm gonna put a little more pine straw here on the end, and I'm gonna pull the pine straw out on these during the spring, because the raspberries are different than the thornless blackberries, where they will put out suckers, and you want to encourage those suckers to grow and thin them out as you need to. Whereas the blackberries, I may leave the pine straw down in these, because these don't grow suckers. They grow off of a crown, and so they really don't put out suckers. So I'm gonna leave the pine straw down, and actually having that pine straw down to prevent them from what they call tip rooting inside of the bed, because as soon as these things touch the ground, they'll make a real root another plant. They root very, very easily. So what I'm gonna do is try to discourage the tip rooting, and I'm gonna only tip root in pots as I need to, because all you gotta do is just get a pot, and if you see a nice thick cane that you want to root, you can just let it sit down in that pot and leave it for about 2 or 3 weeks, and it'll be full of roots, and then you can disconnect it from the plant, and you got another blackberry plant. So one thing I want to do is I want to cut back some of these, because the instructions when I planted these said that they would get 6 to 7 feet long. Some of these things look like they about 12 to 15 feet long. If you look at some of those, I got them wrapped around the trellis wire, because they so long. And I built this trellis up. It's about over 5 foot tall trellis, and they can't even keep them inside of it. So I'm gonna cut a few of them back, and I'm gonna show you a few of them that I'm gonna cut back and see how they do. They say that you should cut them back to encourage them to put out laterals, and that's how you get most of your fruit production. So I'm gonna leave most of them long though, because some of them are so big and long I don't want to bother them. And I want to kind of compare how they do versus the ones that I do cut back. So if the ones I cut back do a lot better, then that'll just let me know in the future, no matter how long and pretty they look, it's best to just cut them back if you want to get more fruit. So that's what I'm gonna do here in a minute, and then we'll come back in the spring or early summer and see how they looking. This is a long one right here. I'm gonna pull it out and we're gonna trim it back some, and we're gonna see how well it does. We're gonna lean it out. So probably just keep that back longer than this, but I'm gonna cut it right here. So I basically cut about 3 feet off for that vine. So now we're gonna get back over the trellis wire, and hopefully that'll grow some laterals. Also gonna trim this one back. This right here has already been cut back, so I'm not going to cut it any further. And that's about it. I'm going to leave everything else the way it is. Okay, here it is mid-April, and the berries are starting to come out. You can see they're already blooming. They're putting a lot of blooms out. They should have a lot of berries on them. But you can, as you can see, the few that I did cut back, they're putting laterals out that will put fruit out. Especially right there, you see it putting another lateral right there. Each one of those I cut, putting laterals out. And so if you want to maximize your fruit production, I can see already that it does help to cut some back. We're gonna see how the real long ones that I didn't cut back. As you can see, one of the real long ones I just wrapped around. This goes all the way right here. It's putting some laterals out too, where I cut the tip of it, but we'll see how many berries it puts along that long stem. Here it is, May 22nd, and as you'll see, they, starting to get loaded with blackberries. Tons of them in there. And I see there's some more green ones coming on down in there, but you'll see where they putting out the lateral shoots, and right here, and putting berries on all the laterals. You'll see here. Now these right here I didn't cut, and they still putting lateral shoots out. So it look like to me, whether you cut them back or not, they're gonna put laterals out. The more you cut them, the more it's gonna encourage that lateral growth, and then they'll continue to bloom and put berries out. So next time what I'm gonna do is not let them get quite so long. I will let them get long enough where they can reach the top of the trellis wire, which the top of my wire is about maybe 5'5". So I probably let them get about 6 feet, maybe 6 to 7 feet. But like I say, some of these things are 10, 12 foot long. So yeah, my minimum probably gonna be around the 7 foot range. I'll start cutting them back, and they let it encourage lateral growth, like there. Like that one should have been cut back some. But I got a lot of new shoots coming out that'll put out, that'll, the primer cane, like here, that are shooting out. So hopefully by the end of the summer, those gonna be 10, 12 feet long. So when they go dormant, I'll cut them back to about 7-8 feet. So far they're looking good. I give one more update before I finalize the video before they go dormant. Also, the raspberries are coming out. They got some nice raspberries on them. And these raspberries, like I said, these blackberries were the first full year I planted the crowns last fall. So, I mean last spring. So this is the first full year. So they're doing pretty good. The raspberries, I can tell they're gonna be loaded next year because they're putting a lot of, you know, thick first year canes out this year. So they need, I can tell the raspberries need a little more of a building period of time. You're not necessarily gonna get a lot of raspberries your first year. I see that now. But next year I ought to have a ton of raspberries because, like I said, they putting out real nice thick shoots that'll put the raspberries out next year. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to probably thin them out before the end of the summer, and I'll give one more final update on them, how they look at the end of the summer before they go dormant.